Anybody who's followed United People's TV for a long time, you'll know that I'm a pretty positive person. I'll take that angle where possible, but I won't ignore the truth when it's staring me in the face. And what I want to talk about in this video is what I would consider, I suppose, the ugly truth of Manchester United at this moment in time. A lot which you already know about, a lot which we all feel, and why I genuinely feel that the frustration that United fans have right now is justified. And it's not just about not making signings early in the window, although ideally that's what you would do as a football club. It's about more than that. I kind of want to vent here for 10 minutes. Give me the opportunity to. And please let me know what you think in the comments below, because it is frustrating, man. We've got a manager there in Erik who we know wants to take us back to the very, very top. And we know full well the ambitions that this man has. Erik has come to Manchester United, and I don't mean this in an offensive way, but he is not going to be remembered when he retires as a football manager for what he did at Ajax. First and foremost, he will be remembered for what he does at Manchester United, whether he succeeds here and what happens next. And of course, Ajax is involved as well, but it won't be the first thing that people talk about. This is where his legacy, his own personal legacy, is going to be made or destroyed. And he has already spoken and gone on record here to talk about how, look, Manchester United in the winter transfer window, look, you didn't give me what I asked for. You didn't give me what I needed. I needed more, and he gave me Sabitzer and Weghorst on loan. Yet still we were able to win the League Cup. Still we were able to get to the FA Cup final and get into the top four. It was a very successful first season given the ambitions of the club going into it and the expectations. However, so much more is needed, which we absolutely know about, which of course is why this summer is so significant, because we've got genuine momentum behind the club. But it's almost like a takeover has taken over. And here we are, waiting and waiting and waiting for the Glazers to make a decision. For the Glazer family to split their own feud and to decide what to do with Manchester United. And everything is now suffering as a consequence. And the reason I'm now I'm bringing this conversation to light is because of this. I think this De Gea situation has sort of revealed, I would call it, a bit of an ugly truth about what Manchester United is behind the scenes. And make absolutely no mistake, this is all a direct consequence of the Glazers' ownership, their methods, their style, the culture that they've embedded into the club, that Ten Hag has come in and done his best to sort of get rid of. And he's done a lot of good work in the first season, but until the head of the snake is cut off, will that culture ever truly change? And will it ever truly change behind the scenes at Manchester United? And that, for me, is where this De Gea situation puts a spotlight on how still behind the scenes at Manchester United, the thinking is not connected, right? We know full well now what's happened here. Manchester United gave De Gea that contract offer. He mulled it over. He agreed to it. He signed it. He went and left for the summer holidays thinking, you know what? Deal's done. I'll come back here. Man United decided no. In fact, it was Ten Hag who decided no. And that, I am not surprised about this. But it also points to a massive lack of coherent thinking and planning. We all have seen enough of Erik Ten Hag so far to understand that he is a manager who is very principled. His way is the way he is going. He's not really going to compromise from anyone. Ronaldo, De Gea, anybody. Not going to compromise on his own beliefs and his own foundations. Which for a lot of United fans made it all the more strange that he was okay with De Gea being our goalkeeper next season. And then a lot of us were thinking, well, that's probably down to the budgets. That's probably down to the fact that he doesn't have the money to spend on that striker that he needs, that central midfielder that he needs, number 8 that he needs, and the goalkeeper. So he put the De Gea situation to one side. But then something changed. Something changed. Is it simply his performances? Or is it something deeper than that? For me, it feels like a little bit of both. And that's where I think this conversation now has to be had. Around Richard Arnold and John Murtough. Because early this window, or when we went into this window, I remember it before the season finished, we were sort of not in talks with Harry Kane, but Harry Kane was emerging as the primary candidate. That signing that Ten Hag wanted. And it felt like United had a bit of connected thinking. Okay, if we're going to go after Harry Kane very quickly, good. Mason Mount, you might not agree with Mason Mount as a signing, but we've gone after him aggressively. The only bid that we've put in so far. However, this De Gea situation to me shows that planning and that thinking is not all completely connected. We're a couple of weeks before players return to the squad. We don't know if De Gea is going to stay, and we don't know who our number one is. Our number one goalkeeper. We don't have that at this moment in time. It is not ideal, and I think this now falls at the feet of John Murtough and Richard Arnold, because this is the sort of stuff that they have to be sorting behind the scenes. I've always felt that no matter who the new owners are, Ineos or the Qataris, both of these guys have to be replaced. I just think there's too many unanswered questions. There's too many issues behind the scenes at Manchester United. Still operationally, we are not a good football club. As I said, that goes back up to the head of the snake. It goes back to the Glazers and the culture that they've introduced, but it's also the people they brought in who simply aren't doing enough. And then you look at what's going on now with the player sales, for example. What's happening here? I've said this to quite a few people. This, for me, is more concerning at this moment in time than the lack of actual signings. Is it to do with the fact that no one's going to pay Maguire's wages or McTominay's wages or Martial's wages? But what's going on with Elanga, Martial, McTominay, Maguire, and all these players that we know we need to sell to raise the funds for Ten Hag this summer? Because signings, all United fans can do at this moment in time is sit there and just look on. Now, I always think it's a little bit overzealous to get mad angry early in the transfer window, because there's time to get deals done. But it's kind of hard not to look at what's going on right now with everybody in the Premier League, and also Bayern Munich there, with a little, and not be jealous, right? Bayern Munich, they've gone in with a bid for our prime target. We've been told Levy's not going to be selling to the Premier League, so what, we're just going to sit there and watch what goes on there? We've made our stance clear on Mason Mount. I think I understand that. Now, not everyone agrees that 55 million is the right price. I think it's inflated. But 55 million, if we now stick to our guns and we stay at 55 and we don't go any higher, then we either get him or we go, all right, well, that was our max offer. We're not going to give you whatever you want, because something's got to change. We have to miss out on targets this summer. Otherwise, we're just going to keep getting rinsed. But then we have to sit here and look, if we had the money this summer, Ten Hag will be all over Declan Rice. The only reason we can't sign him is because of the financial situation we've been put in as a football club, because of the Glazers ownership. And maybe Moises Caicedo is going to be part of that conversation as well. Both of those midfielders fit an exact profile of where Manchester United need a signing. Yet, we've heard about Moises Caicedo. Is that just noise to sort of scare Chelsea into sort of accepting that? Or are we actually going to be going after Moises Caicedo? I suppose we're going to find that out in the goodness of time. Probably sooner rather than later. But Ten Hag went into this summer knowing what he needed. New striker. And maybe that new goalkeeper, the only reason that it was never a conversation before was about finances. Maybe it was about something bigger that we still don't know about. But it's that De Gea situation which has left me with real concern about what's going on behind the scenes. Because it's not the way that he should be going out, man. I think he should be replaced. But you can do things the right way and the wrong way. I think we're going about it the wrong way now with De Gea in this situation. But look, players are due back at Carrington in early July. The only player we've sold is Zidane Iqbal for 850 grand. We've signed nobody. The only bid we've put in is for Mason Mount. And this concerns me as well, right? Everybody, Man United are going to be posting record revenues of 630 to 650 million. Brilliant. But it's not brilliant. Man United's finances are in turmoil and have been in turmoil. We owe over 300 million to other clubs in amortized transfer payments. I don't know what percentage of that, what chunk of it has to get paid off this summer, but a big part of it will have to get paid off this summer. Man United have only got 74 million in the bank. We've got 260 that's going to be available as a credit facility. But look at this. The takeover. What does that mean? The takeover that's the wrong one. The takeover poses so many questions that we just cannot answer, and Ten Hag cannot answer. And I think he's got every single right now to be getting more and more frustrated. I think typically if there wasn't a takeover and this was the 28th of June, it was a normal summer, I don't think I would say that there is as much justified anger and frustration at what's gone on. Maybe this simply is Avram Glazer and all the Glazers holding the books, waiting until the end of year accounts are completed on the 30th of June, and then opening the checkbook. Well, the credit card, because it will affect next year's accounts and therefore not this year's accounts, which is more directly related to the sale on Takeover, because the numbers they want to make as big as possible. But maybe these reports are correct. Maybe that even when it comes to spending on the credit card, the Glazers are going to hold back. Everything is being held back by the takeover, just like everything has been held back at this football club since they became owners in 2005. We've seen plenty of managers come and go, and we finally got one that genuinely we feel can actually build a legacy. Yet here we are, a couple of weeks before the preseason starts again. No movement on anything. Will it all change? It could all change. That's what I mean. I'm not here losing my shit. But I think Ten Hag has every single right to be pretty damn frustrated with what's going on so far, having to watch what's going on around him. Because by the time that we start acting, are we really going to be able to get what Ten Hag needs? I have big reservations about that now.